What if the secret to living longer was never in a pharmacy, but in a kitchen? By the 1950s, Japanese women had some of the lowest rates of heart disease and cancer in the entire developed world. Researchers studied this for decades. They looked at genetics, they looked at geography, they looked at medicine. And what they found again and again pointed to the same place, the kitchen. Not the hospital, not the pharmacy, the kitchen. Specifically, the tools inside it. Tools that most people today have never heard of. Tools that quietly disappeared when the modern world arrived. Today, we bring them back. And by the end of this video, you will look at your own kitchen very differently.
Picture a Japanese home in 1952. No microwave, no electric stove, no refrigerator humming in the corner. Just a woman, a fire, and a handful of tools passed down through generations. These tools were not fancy, they were not expensive, but they were precise, intentional, built around one single goal: nourishing the body the right way. The country had been devastated by war, food was scarce, and yet the way people cooked, the methods, the tools, the philosophy, preserved something powerful. A connection between food preparation and health that modern science is only now beginning to fully understand. So let us go through the tools, one by one. 7 tools, 7 pieces of wisdom that the modern world threw away. The first tool is not really a tool. It is the heart of the entire kitchen, the Kamado, a large clay or ceramic stove, built into the floor, fired with wood or charcoal. In Japanese, the word Kamado did not just mean stove, it meant family. To divide a family was called Kamado wo wakeru, to split the stove. That is how central this object was to Japanese life. But the Kamado was not just symbolic, it was scientifically brilliant. Clay retains heat differently than metal. It distributes heat slowly, evenly, deeply. Food cooked on a Kamado was not blasted with high aggressive heat. It was coaxed, gently, over time. This slow method preserved nutrients that fast, high-heat cooking destroys. Enzymes, vitamins, delicate plant compounds that modern science now links directly to longevity. The Kamado also created a ritual. You could not press a button and walk away. You had to tend the fire, stay present, watch the food. And that mindfulness around food is something nutritional researchers say we have almost completely lost. The Kamado began disappearing from Japanese homes in the late 1950s when gas stoves arrived. Faster, easier, modern, and something very old quietly walked out the door. The second tool fits in your hands, the Suribachi, a serrated ceramic grinding bowl used with a wooden pestle called a surikogi. The inside of the Suribachi is covered in fine ridges, like a fingerprint pressed into clay. These ridges grip and break down ingredients in a way no blender can replicate. Sesame seeds, tofu, miso, medicinal roots. The grinding was slow, circular, rhythmic, and what happened during that grinding was chemically significant. When you grind sesame seeds in the Suribachi, you rupture the cell walls. This releases compounds called sesamin and sesamolin. Modern research has linked both of these directly to reduce inflammation and lower blood pressure. A blender does not do this the same way. The heat and speed of a blade actually degrades some of these compounds before they reach your bowl. The Suribachi was also the household pharmacy. Ground turmeric, ground ginger, ground medicinal barks. The Japanese home was its own medicine cabinet, and the Suribachi was one of its primary instruments. Today you can still find them in specialist stores, but in most homes they are gone, replaced by electric grinders that are faster, louder, and nutritionally less effective. The third tool has a sound. Every morning in a 1952 Japanese home, before the rice was ready, before the miso was heated, there was a rhythm, a slow, steady scraping sound coming from the kitchen. That was the Katsuobushi Kezuriki, the bonito shaving box, a wooden box with an upside-down blade mounted on top. Inside the box, a drawer, and every morning a housewife would take a block of dried bonito fish, hard as wood, and shave it against that blade. The thin ribbons that fell into the drawer were not just flavoring, They were medicine. Katsuobushi is loaded with a compound called inosinate, one of the 3 primary umami substances. When those fresh shavings hit hot water with kombucha lead, which is rich in glutamate, something remarkable happens. The inosinate and glutamate combine and multiply each other's effect. Scientists call this umami synergy. The flavor and nutritional impact of the broth becomes far greater than either ingredient alone. Research published in peer-reviewed nutrition journals has found that drinking dashi made this way improved mood, reduced oxidative stress markers, and enhanced concentration. This was not soup. This was daily medicine, prepared fresh every single morning. The Katsuobushi Kezuriki disappeared from most homes in the late 1960s. Pre-shaved bonito arrived in nitrogen-sealed plastic bags. Convenient, quick, and a fraction as nutritionally potent as the freshly shaved version. The ritual was gone, and with it, the daily dose of umami medicine. The 4th item is a piece of furniture, but do not underestimate it. The Mizuya Dansu, a traditional kitchen cabinet made from kiyaki, Japanese elm. These cabinets were the centerpiece of Japanese kitchens through the Meiji and Taisho periods, and by the early 1950s, they were still in almost every home. But here is what made them remarkable. They were designed around airflow. The doors were slatted or fitted with fine mesh panels, allowing natural ventilation around stored food. No electricity, no refrigeration, just intelligent design built on centuries of observation. The Mizuya Dansu kept fermented foods, miso, pickled vegetables, preserved fish at a consistent cool temperature. And fermented foods were central to the Japanese diet. Modern research has confirmed what Japanese households understood intuitively for hundreds of years. Fermented foods support gut health, and gut health is now understood to be deeply connected to immunity, mental health, and disease prevention. By the mid-1950s, small white electric refrigerators began appearing in Japanese homes. The Mizuya Dansu was chopped up, thrown out, replaced by sealed steel and plastic. The airflow was gone. The living, breathing food storage philosophy was gone with it. The 5th tool is deceptively simple. The Ohitsu, a wooden container made from hinoki, Japanese cypress. Its only job was to hold cooked rice after it left the pot. But what it did to that rice was extraordinary. Hinoki wood is porous, it breathes. When hot rice was placed inside, the wood absorbed the excess steam. Then, as the rice cooled, it released that moisture slowly back, keeping every grain perfectly fluffy, separate, and sweet. No soggy rice, no dried out rice, just rice in its ideal state, hours after cooking. But the Ohitsu did something more important than texture. Hinoki wood contains natural antimicrobial compounds, including phytocides and the substance called hinokitiol. Research has confirmed that hinokitiol is effective against common pathogens, including E. coli and Staphylococcus aureus. In a time before refrigeration, storing rice in a hinoki ohitsu was not tradition for tradition's sake. It was food safety. Built from wood, powered by nature. The electric rice cooker arrived in Japan in the late 1950s. It had a keep warm function. It was sealed. It was convenient. The ohitsu became unnecessary overnight. The antimicrobial cypress disappeared from the kitchen, and people stopped thinking about what their containers were made of. The 6th tool goes back 12,000 years. The Donabe, a clay cooking pot fired at high temperature used over an open flame. The tradition of cooking in fired clay in Japan dates to the Jomon period, some of the oldest pottery ever discovered by archaeologists. But the Donabe is not just ancient, it is extraordinary. The clay used, particularly from the Iga region, is formed from lake sediment that is 4 million years old. That sediment is highly porous, and that porosity is the secret. A donabe breathes. It absorbs moisture during cooking and releases it slowly, creating a gentle steam circulation inside the pot. Food does not dry out. Flavor develops slowly. Minerals that fast boiling strips away are retained. Nutritionally, the slow, moist heat of a donabe preserves water-soluble vitamins, B vitamins, vitamin C, that boil off quickly in metal cookware. The donabe did not completely disappear, but it moved from daily use to special occasions. something your grandmother might bring out once a year. From medicine to nostalgia, that is quite a fall.
The seventh tool is the simplest, and perhaps the most underestimated, the Mushiro, a woven straw mat used to dry food in the open air, under the sun, in the wind. Fish, vegetables, mushrooms, grains. When you dry a shiitake mushroom in sunlight, something remarkable happens.
UV rays from the sun convert a compound in the mushroom called ergosterol into vitamin D2. A single shiitake dried in the sun for just a few hours can contain more vitamin D than most modern supplements. This is not folklore, this is established biochemistry. Japanese households in the 1950s had low rates of vitamin D deficiency, not because of supplements, but because of how they handled their food. They dried it on mats in the sun. When packaged and refrigerated food became the norm, this practice faded. The Mushiro was put away,
And with it, a source of nutrition no one thought to replace. If wisdom like this matters to you, subscribe. We are just getting started. 7 tools, 7 pieces of kitchen wisdom. The Kamado that cooked with patience. The Suribachi that unlocked nutrients by hand. The Kezuriki that prepared daily medicine every single morning. The Mizuya Dansu that kept fermented food alive and breathing. The Ohitsu that used ancient wood to protect the most basic food of all. The Donabe that breathed as it cooked. And the humble Mushiro that turned sunlight into medicine. None of these required electricity. None required technology. They required knowledge and intention. The people who used them were not health obsessives. They were not following a wellness trend. They were simply living the way their grandparents had taught them. And without knowing it, they were protecting their bodies at a cellular level. Modern science has now confirmed what those kitchens demonstrated through lived experience. Slow cooking preserves nutrients. Fermentation protects the gut. Fresh dashi heals from the inside. Natural wood protects food. Sun drying creates vitamins. These are not myths, these are mechanisms. So the next time you rush past your kitchen, pause for a moment. Think about what a kitchen used to mean. Not just a room where food gets heated, but a place where health was built every single day with simple tools and ancient knowledge. That wisdom did not disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared because we stopped paying attention. Maybe it is time to start again. If this made you think differently about your kitchen, share it with someone whose grandmother would have known all of this. Like and subscribe, and we will see you in next video soon.